Hi, this is Dr. S and this is video 8 in my series on reaction rates for Year 12 Chemistry. On the screen is a reminder of last video where we looked at the Boltzmann distribution and we explained that the shaded area here are molecules that have energy above the activation energy and therefore can successfully collide. In this video we'll look at the presence of catalysts and how that affects the Boltzmann distribution and explains why the presence of a catalyst affects the rate of reaction. So here is a blank Boltzmann distribution. I'm going to draw my curve on, so a nice hump and a tail like that to show what we need to. So remember, it starts at the origin, there is a hump and there's a tail that never touches the x-axis, and then there is an activation energy present, remembering that these molecules here are the ones that can react. If I introduce a catalyst, that catalyst will provide an alternative pathway which results in a lower activation energy. So what we can do is we can draw another activation energy for the presence of a catalyst which is lower than the original one. So it might be here. And we'll label that EC to show that it's the activation energy with a catalyst. You should be able to see by adding the catalyst and moving it to the left, we've now allowed a whole load more of particles to now react in order that they can now overcome the activation energy barrier and react further on. So these are the extra particles that can now react. And you can clearly see that the shaded area is now bigger. So your explanation to explain why catalysts increase the rate of reaction is that it lowers the activation energy, which allows more particles to overcome the activation energy, or you could say they have energy greater than the activation energy. That leads to more successful collisions per second. Remembering that the per second is important because if we're talking about rate of reaction, we need to have some element of time in there. More successful collisions per second, so the rate of reaction increases. Really common exam question, and it's often paired with the enthalpy profile diagram we saw in the catalyst video. So if you practice that, then that should give you a nice big chunk of marks in the exam. Okay, next video we'll look at how we can use the Boltzmann distribution to explain why an increase in temperature affects the rate of reaction. I'll see you then.